The Times reported in an exclusive article that the government is set to announce a major increase in legal aid funding this week to help clear a large backlog of asylum appeals. Millions in extra funding will be made available in an effort to increase the number of firms and lawyers willing to take on asylum cases. According to the Times, the serious shortage of legal representation has caused appeals to take an average of 46 weeks, leaving tens of thousands of asylum seekers in limbo. By September, nearly 63,000 cases were awaiting resolution in the first-tier tribunal chamber, more than double the figures from the previous year. Currently, there are sufficient lawyers to represent only around half of asylum claimants. These are the asylum appeals claimants, resulting in numerous cases being postponed or individuals opting to represent themselves. This often significantly extends the duration of hearings, with self-represented cases taking up to 6 times longer than those with legal representatives. According to the Times, the growing backlog of appeals has raised concerns within the Home Office and Downing Street, particularly in light of Labour's election commitment to phase out the use of hotels for housing asylum seekers. A Home Office source indicated that it could take up to a year before the total number of hotels in use begins to decline. Well, that's not actually good news. That's not actually good news, because where are they going to put them? They're just going to put them in your council houses that were intended for us. So it's best to keep them in these hotels or in these areas for as long as possible, rather than releasing them, as it were, into the so-called community. Anyway, that's what we're facing. More and more of our money being used to fund what we're calling in our new book the invasion migration sector, which is the legal establishment that makes a lot of money from this appeals process. And the thing that we need to do is we need to simply abolish the appeals process for asylum cases. And that needs to be essentially the policy of any party that wants to shake up the system. And of course, the lawyers will scream, because this was suggested actually back in the days of Jack Straw. When he was the Home Secretary, this policy was suggested, and the lawyers screamed and they said, that's against Britain's proud history of common law, which is what they would do. That's what they'll say. They'll say that it's against Britain's legal history and our legal values and all that kind of stuff, without pointing out that asylum seekers from 1951 onwards never had the right of appeal in the UK until the Tories introduced it in 1993. So we need to simply abolish that, not give more money to lawyers to clear the appeals process. We simply need to abolish the right of appeal for asylum, saving millions, saving a lot of time, and ensuring that a lot of people get turned around and deported as quickly as possible, and before they've ever got the chance to set up a so-called family life and appeal on that kind of basis. We've got to just turn these people around as quickly as possible, because once they're in the country, it actually becomes harder and harder with each passing day to get rid of them.